What is up, guys? Dr. Jake Hansen here again with the Chiropractor's Edge. And due to popular demand, I am honored to have my good buddy on here, CEO of Teems, CORY Pinegar. CORY, welcome to the Chiropractor's Edge.
Jake, thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So you guys, I am constantly asked, from our students, I'm constantly asked from docs in their first year, docs in their 20, 25th, 30th year, 10th year, how do I build an effective team? You guys, you can only run as fast as you can run. Linear growth will happen as fast as you can go, but exponential growth and true growth happens when you're able to create leaders having the right people in the right seat so you can do amazing things. CORY and I were just talking. I am so honored. I'm going to be representing the Chiropractor's Edge next week in Egypt. We're going to be going on the event with Sally and Shady to Cairo. And it is a 2.5-week excursion. It is amazing. And the only way I can do this effectively so that my office can grow and scale is I have the right team members. I have the best team members and I have leaders. So not only will we not drop it all, we will grow and scale efficiently. And that is thanks to our team. And this is definitely exactly why we have partnered with CORY and Teems. So one of the unique things about Teems, you guys, is a lot of us think, and CORY and I were talking about this, I have so many of you that share either, hey, doc, I really need a team member. Now, there's a few of you out there who it's your personality, you have a one-man show, one lady show, one woman show, one doc show, and you thrive with that. Okay. But there's so many other things that you should be thinking about, right? I have a lot of docs that love doing everything on their own, but there's so many things that would save you time. And that's the number one thing we need to talk about solving for you and for your practice member is solving for time. And that's what an efficient team can do. So number one, we're going to talk about how can we create a dream team, a rock star team that allows you to do what you need to do in your 9-to-5, in your practice. We were going over so many things that we're seeing a lot of our group members that are now have a team on their side, but we have countless. So what are some of the things that people are raving about? Because I know right out of the bat, people love having someone schedule for them. They love having someone bill for them. We were going over something really unique when it comes to treatment plans. Let's talk about our good friend, Amy Spolster. What's with the Focus Academy, what's Dr. Amy doing that has been a massive benefit to her team and her clients?
Yeah, she is having a part-time team member go through her books, go through her EHR, and actually find patients that have fallen off the schedule, that have already started a treatment plan. And at week 4, they stopped coming in, and having that team member place outbound phone calls to express the sincere concern and getting them back in, completing that treatment plan, and letting that be on the schedule. There's so much, I think, a business as a funnel. Marketing creates a funnel that creates phone calls. And if the experience on phone calls is not great, they fall off. Well, so many patients even begin treatments, and then at some point life becomes busy. Maybe they don't feel the pain at the extreme level and they stop. And so that team member is taking people who have already started a, journey in developing a better life and getting them back on the schedule. It's so easy to say new patients is the way to grow a practice, when really there's so many different pinpoints, like a garden hose, that develop holes in them over time. And if we have systems that say, you know what, holes get developed in hoses. One of my favorite things that I read years ago, I'm a really big fan of Formula One. And Toto Wolff, up until probably 2 years ago when Red Bull decided to become quite good at racing, who is Mercedes general manager, said he doesn't plan for things to go right. He plans for things to go terribly wrong every race. He doesn't expect them to, but he plans for them to go wrong. If all of our tires shred, do we have the backups? Well, what's great about what Amy's doing in her practice, instead of saying patients are going to accept their treatment plan and 110% of them or 100% of them are going to finish all the way to the end, that is not acknowledging reality. That's not planning for problems. And problems are a part of business. You can't prevent them. You can plan for them and navigate them well. And so when we isolate, where are we having those kinks in our hose or areas in our hose where we're losing a little bit of volume, we can get them back on. And that puts thousands of dollars back on the books every single month. And at the same time, gives better healthcare. And what I love about that is it's not just the business serving the need of profiting and capitalism. When those are done well of, hey, we have sincere concern for our patients, that's when a business really catapults forward with aligned interest.
Yes, that is massive. And I love that concept. That concept is so real that, and it's not a lack mentality, it's not a poverty mentality, scarcity mentality. It's preparing for every inevitability. So if something does happen, you are protected. The worst thing is when, something happens and the team says, oh shoot, what do we do? For example, in our practice, our front door is having problems. The sun, the heat cooks this thing and we're having issues. And so the team says, yeah, doc, they called me one day, said, doc, we can't get in the practice. Like, we can't unlock the door. And so I said, awesome. Said, and this is a new team member, said, I'm going to hand it off to our office manager. We have a way to correct this. And we have a maintenance guy who's already ready to go. He knows this building very well. He's like, yeah, doc, this just happens, every, couple times a summer, because of the foundation, this shifts and this shifts, but we prepare for that inevitability. A lot of the greatest teams, the sports teams on planet Earth, they just don't practice until they kind of get it right. They practice so they can never fail. They practice so that they will always get it right. That they plan for every inevitability and they adapt. So, doc, that's what you have to look at in your practice: is how flexible, how adaptable are you, and are you guys spreading the butter too thin on that toast? Are you spreading too many responsibilities on too many people? And really, that's not their thing. I have several team members where I know exactly what they want. I have a team member who said she was one of the CFOs for Habitat for Humanity. And she said, I love where I'm at Restoration Chiropractic. I love it. Please don't promote me. I don't want to be the office manager. I don't want to do this. I know exactly where I'm at. One of our team members that we have from you guys, and again, the beautiful thing about team is how we think about it is I have multiple team members that are in my practice because it requires physical touch, it requires physical training, physical, teaching, but we also have several team members who also work remote. My office manager works remote. She works out of Tennessee and she knows everything going on in my practice. We have cameras in our practice. We have our systems in our practice. She's able to do everything in our practice. And she's always bringing things to my attention I never would have known before. For a lot of our side businesses, for a lot of the other opportunities we have to serve, we have video editors, we have schedulers. You and I were talking about, I love how I enjoy, picking apart videos and editing, but it just takes time and it's definitely not my forte. So it's kind of a hobby, but I've handed that off to Igor. Igor is a team member that we've gotten through Teem. And I love the fact that I can be able to get my videos done, my podcast done, my social media done, without me having to actually have to do that. So that's one of the beautiful things, you guys, is look at the things in your practice. If you look at your practice and you are in a state of, I really want to keep growing, look at your practice. And we don't want to just gauge your practice off of just strict, patient per visits per week. There's so many other metrics that are more important. But if you are looking and you are not seeing continued growth, measurable growth and scalability, you have to look at your systems. You have to look at your team members. So I love that Dr. Amy has done that. I love that Amy has said, hey, here's something that is consuming my face-to-face team members' time. So this would be far better for someone else to dedicate to that. We have several members of the Chiropractor's Edge who have patient concierge. So someone who basically walks a new patient, they take them by a hand with a white glove service. They research them on Facebook, you guys. So they give you all the data. So they would say, hey, CORY Pinegar is coming into your practice today. He owns several multi-million-dollar businesses. His time is very important to him. He's got season tickets to the Jazz. He's got this, he's got kids. They would tell me everything about you down to he likes popcorn or doesn't like popcorn, so that my team knows what are the things that matter most to you so that I can understand your personality, so that so that not only can I need to do my clinical, I need to do what I do, doc, you need to do what you do, but having someone else do that for you. And it doesn't have to be in-house. And one of the beautiful things, you guys, is you're also, by having another team member, a virtual team member that is your team member, it allows all those holes that are happening, that leaky bucket, that hose problem like you talked about, Corey, it allows us to plug that so that ultimately your patients are taken care of. They're not falling through the cracks, because the worst thing possible is someone having to not only not finish their plan, which is going to be, it's going to cause disarray and problems in their life. It also is going to cause you to have to do refunds. It's going to cause so many other issues. So instead of that person completing their plan and referring more people to you, you now have a massive hemorrhaging problem. And that's, again, what Dr. Amy has come up with. So we have so many people, again, that have found creative ways. The video, I mean, tell me about the video editors. That's kind of gone, I mean, not necessarily that it took us by surprise, but that took kind of.
Oh, it took me by surprise. I'll be the first to.
We have so many people that, yeah.
I come from a dental background. And so I had my preconceptions and truthfully misconceptions about where the demand would exist in chiropractic. And Jake, let me tell you, I was totally wrong. The number one role that we filled is video editors and social media experts who are going to, provide 5 to 10 hours of work for a practice in a week. And they can also work for 4 or 5 practices in that period of time, where they can really be an expert in what content's working. They live and breathe in that every single day. And something that I actually wanted to ask you, Jake, is when a chiropractor's operating efficiently, in your opinion, as a business owner, how much money are they pulling in an hour when they're doing their work at their most efficient, using their hands to treat patients? How much money is being brought in an hour typically?
And again, there's a wide, if you're a $1 million practice, a multi-million-dollar practice, you're looking at a minimum of $1,500 to $2,000 an hour. Is where I see. I have a lot of docs that are significantly higher than that. I have a lot of docs that are significantly less than that. But that's if you're looking at a classic kind of an 8-hour day, and if you're looking at the amount of money coming in, $1,000 to $2,000 would be a pretty decent number. And again, we have some less, some more, but that would be
as take home.
Yeah, that's take home. That's about where we're at.
Awesome. And what's cool about that is there's this Venn diagram that I was taught years ago when I started my career in entrepreneurship, where you say, what's my highest calling? Where am I providing the most impact? And generally where you're having the most impact is also where you get paid the most. And everyone generally knows, like for me, I'm best on strategy and I'm best on business development. Then there's things that I need to do every single day, such as, well, I need to book my haircut. I need to go to the doctor every 60 days. I need to book my flights to Chicago. I need to book my hotel. That's what we used to frame as $15 an hour work. And between the $1,500 and $15 an hour work, there's maybe $200 an hour work, which is accounting work or CFO work. And there's $50 an hour work. Mark out where all of your time is going and then saying, okay, well, the $15 an hour work is booking flights. It is, booking all of my monthly things that need to be done, such as the housekeepers coming and the guy to come fix the door. I need someone to represent my work there. And what if that takes up 4 or 5 hours a week? Well, guess what? 4 or 5 hours a week back into $1,500 an hour work is a massive amplifier, and it gets people where they generally enjoy the most.
Yes. So, so about it, $1 million practice, 80, a little over 83 grand a month, right? If you're breaking down 160 hour totals throughout your month with a 4-hour work, that's 520 an hour at a minimum. So just do the math on that. So 520 an hour versus 15 an hour, or with Teems, based on how you guys are able to help bring in people from all over the world who are experts at what they do for significantly less than what we'd be paying someone here, but you're still blessing their life. I mean, that's a no-brainer. That concept, you guys, you need to have that concept down. And not that you are above minimum wage tasks. Like the other day, I saw toilet paper needed to be, replaced in one of our guest restrooms, and the team was slammed. I literally went in there, switched it out, put it out 1 second. But my team is so good at those things. Now, if that was my job consistently, that's a waste of my time, because I could be doing, if those cleaning items were just me only, that's a waste of my time when we are bringing in 1,500 to 2,000 an hour on average. So just do that math. So keep going with that, Corey.
So what I even think is interesting about what you just said there, I love that you called it out. It's not that any of us are above the work.
Well, I'll
sweep the floor, for heaven's sakes.
Absolutely.
But what's interesting is, let's go back to the Toto Wolff Mercedes F1 theory. If Toto was also on their pit stop crew, where he changed the tires on the cars when they came in, he would not be governing the team to winning championships.
Correct.
And so it is not that we sit in an ivory tower, any of us, at any position. Where do we provide the best impact? If he was changing tires, he could not foresee we've got inclement weather coming in, or there's an engine problem that we anticipate coming up. He is making sure everyone else's job operates well. It's not, I'm better than this. It's if I can get 5 hours a week better, can we be growing the practice where my team members can enjoy their job more, and they can be growing personally, professionally, and economically within it? It is us at the best form serving the business. It's the Nordstrom philosophy, where instead of an org chart where a CEO or an owner sits on the top, they sit on the bottom, and our job is to serve the people. And by removing some of those mundane but very essential tasks, it allows us to focus on elevating the entire org chart instead of getting caught into every different part. So I think you put it really well.
Yes. One of the things that I've absolutely loved is I love, as a chiropractor, I'm first and foremost, as far as my business is going, first and foremost a chiropractor. I own several other businesses, but that is my passion. And I do love adjusting people. I love it. So I've been able to have a little bit more of ability. So I've had some pretty, big head injuries and neck injuries and TBIs. And so I've had to take a physical step back so that I could heal. So I had to bring on the right doctors, the right team members, in-house, virtual, thanks to you guys. I've had to connect to other people in order to help me with this. But I've also been able to get on the floor a little bit more, where I've been able to do adjustments. And it's so fun to be able to do those things. And I get to go in and actually, instead of me being the workhorse on the floor, I go in and I look for efficiencies and inefficiencies. And then I just ask questions. I ask my docs. I say, hey, question for you. I saw this interaction today, or I'm seeing this thing happening in the notes compared to what we've done before. Why is that? Because I'm finding it far more efficient than what we've done before. How did that come to be? How long has this been going on for? Is this an enigma? Or why are we doing it this way? Help me understand why we're doing it this way. Oh, because of this, this, and that. Do you feel it's efficient from this way? Oh, no, you're right. That's just a bad habit. So then I can go in, boots on the ground, and be able to look, because I get to look from a 30,000-foot view, having done this for a long time. And I can see all the ins and outs that are efficient, non-efficient, and what can I do to enhance the patient experience. And that's absolutely huge, in order to allow them to have a beautiful experience. Like, one of the things that we have someone who helps us with is our decor. I love decor. It's a fun thing for me to do. I grew up with, I don't know how you grew up, but I always grew up every single holiday. My mom would decorate, and it was just like the smells, the Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, 4th of July, Halloween. Like, I love those things. And that's also, in my opinion, that's important to your business, because you can have a state-of-the-art business. But if you're not changing with the times and changing the core, people get very, very much white noised in the fact that even this most state-of-the-art stuff becomes like, okay. Can I tell you how amazing the last 4 days have been in our practice? That we've got some fall foliage up, some pumpkins, some different smells. There's this new, renewed vigor. But I have someone else helping with those things as well, because that allows us to be able to grow. So guys, what are the things? What are those $15 an hour? $18, $20 an hour. What are those tasks that are taking you away from those $500, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 high ticket items. And we have a lot of docs in our group that have $25,000 ticket items, $30,000 ticket items. So what are those things keeping you away from that? Because you cannot afford to not have the right people with you. And again, I have a doc, his passion, his absolute passion is remodeling. So he has a side gig of remodeling homes. He loves it. It brings him joy to tear down and build. He's like, Doc, this is my therapy. He's like, I don't get massages. Like, I don't go to the gym, like to do those other things. This is what I do. So in that case, I say, do it, man. Do it because it brings you joy. It's therapy. I have several other docs who own real estate who the first thing they say is, oh, heavens no, I don't want to tear down sheetrock. I don't want to do this. I'm like, awesome. We can find you the right people to do that so that you can spend your time where it's most valuable and where you can bring in a higher dollar so that you can bring value to those you serve.
And I think something you nailed too is there's certain roles that it just makes sense to get additional help. There's also certain things that each of us hate doing. Back-end paperwork. Some people love it, some people don't. And everyone has different things that they love or hate. Bringing in help so that not only is your work most effective, but that your work is enjoyable, where you can go home every day and look in the mirror and say, I love what I get to do. And part of this, what we do is some people don't like video. You love video editing personally. There probably are higher ticket dollar value items for you, but there's other doctors who just don't like social media. They don't have a personal social media, but they know running one for their business is essential. Look at the areas that are not enjoyable for you. Okay, I hate end of the month bookkeeping. We can bring someone with QuickBooks experience 5 to 10 years. This is not about let's just bring someone in and give them a PowerPoint account and call it good. It's about bringing expert talent, someone who's passionate about video editing, someone who's passionate about QuickBooks, someone who's passionate about customer service, and letting them thrive so that you can thrive in the areas that you enjoy.
Yes. And that's the thing, you guys, is anyone can learn to do anything. You can train anyone for anything. But wouldn't it be better if you found, so if you had two people in front of you, that one was trainable, two people have phenomenal personalities. And again, let's talk about some back office, back scheduling, billing, video editing, things that doesn't have to require someone up front, right? And they both have great personalities. They have a handle on everything. One is very versatile, very flexible, very trainable, and the other one has 15 years experience, and they only do what you're wanting. Wouldn't it be a no-brainer to say, yeah, I'm bringing you on, but if all cost is the same, why wouldn't you do that? So that's what I'm telling you is a lot of docs, you're spreading your team way too thin, right? You're spreading them too thin. And they're starting to do things that don't bring them joy. Now, there are a lot of things that we have to do that sometimes we just don't enjoy. But if we could get the right person, CORY, I have never been good at math. I have some kids who are phenomenal at math. True story, super vulnerable here. I could get a third bachelor's degree. You ready for this, CORY?
I'm
ready.
I
could get a third bachelor's degree if I took an algebra course. I think there's like 2 classes. I could get an extra one if that's all I took. And it's been 13 years. And guess who doesn't have that extra bachelor degree because of that? I got the knowledge that I need for it. I'm not good at math. So that's why I have people in my practice who are phenomenal at math and who love crunching numbers. I love knowing. So we just had our team, our all team meeting this week. It was awesome. We had, I've been very, very blessed that every single month that Restoration Chiropractic has been open, not just year, every single month, we have beat the previous month. Because there are months where, we have more screening events, more marketing events, but we've been blessed every month to beat the month before every single year. And it's been a blessing. But I love that I have someone who is able, I have a virtual team member who's able to look at all my numbers and say, Doc, so where do you think your successes come from? And I'll say, well, I believe it's come from here. Yep, you're spot on. You're right. 62% of all new patients came from this source. Or Doc, actually, did you know that 33% came from this other source? No, I didn't know it was that high. I knew it was there, but it takes someone else to look at those things. The point is, you need to find someone who loves doing what you don't enjoy or a team member doesn't enjoy, because it will make you more money. It will bring more value to your team. I can't tell you, we just brought on another team member, and I can't tell you how grateful my team is, because they can, it's as if I just gave them all massages. It's as if I just gave them all IV treatments and just boosted them up. They are all happier because I've taken a little more off their load, so that they can focus on the things that matter most and that bring them joy. That's the mindset you guys have to have. And bringing on a team member from Teems will allow you to do that. And they are, again, we've said it, it's not an agency, it's not just a virtual person. They are your team member, that is hand selected. I did have a few docs. I had 4 or 5 questions that docs asked about, how do you guys actually find, as team, how do you guys actually find my best team member for the job I want? If it's a videographer, if it's a social media expert, if it's an accountant, a tax, I mean, if it's how do you guys go through that process? What does it actually look like so that you guys can find me my best team member?
Yeah, really, really good question. So we have a relationship with BYU Pathways, which is a, for lack of a better term, international version of BYU, where people can go attend and graduate from virtual classes at Brigham Young University. And to date, there's about 52,000 graduates from that program. And so our goal is to find people that have the passions and shared strength that practices need from that. The reason it matters is it proves that they've done 4 years of advanced English training. They've proven that they can go through a very hard, rigorous university, and that they also can develop the soft skills from working within the United States and adjust to our culture. So the vast majority of our team members, Jake, come through that. And then other people, sometimes when it's more nuanced or niche, are referred from our team. But what we really try to define down is from those US universities where they have a proven hardworking track record before, where we know they're going to be a reliable team member with the practice going forward. And that's part of our secret sauce of what makes us different.
I love that. And the thing I loved is you guys got about a half a dozen, you said, hey, give us, I can't remember what it was. I think it was like, give us like 2 weeks. I mean, guys, how hard is it to hire, right? Just to give you an idea, to bring in my ideal full-time front desk chiropractic assistant, we looked for almost 6 months, because we have a very specific brand, a very specific culture. And so that face-to-face touch for us is critical, right? I mean, any team member is critical. So Corey says, give us, I want to say maybe it was about 2 weeks. Maybe it could have been less.
It's about one to 2 weeks max.
Okay. And that's probably what it was. And you came back to me, said, okay, we have about a half a dozen. We're going to go with, so what you've shared with us about your business and the credentialing that you've provided us, the questions you asked, we believe we have found from, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go through all of them. And the very first person that you interviewed, that you presented, I was like, God, this guy's like, this exactly who we're looking for. Not only can he do the what that I need, it's who I'm looking for. We still did a couple of other interviews, like, no, you nailed that. I was thoroughly impressed, because this is what I do for a living, Corey. I bring on people to different businesses and to bring in the right people. The book Traction, if you guys have not read Traction, you have to read or listen to Traction. It is one of the best books on team building. It's definitely one of the better books on team building that I've ever read and implemented in my business, but it's about putting the right people in the right seats. It's critical to be able to do that. One of the things that I'm going to be taking off my plate here soon, Corey, is that's another thing I'm going to be taking off, is having someone else help me bring on the right people in my physical practice and virtual. I mean, you guys already covered the virtual side, but that's something I'm really looking forward to, because it does create a lot of weight on me, because I'm very protective of my patient base. Docs, I know you guys are too. I'm very protective of our patient base. I'm very protective of my team. And I want to be sure we're bringing on literally a dream team. And that's what, again, you guys are able to do for us. And it's been massive. So I'm looking forward to that next step in my businesses. It's going to be huge.
It's awesome.
So to end, you guys, you need to bring value to those whom you serve, to your clients. value. When you appreciate something, to appreciate means to add value, right? We can bring value to our practice members by having a team that understands them, that hears them, that sees them, that can give them the data they're needing, that can give them answers to what they're seeking, that are readily accessible. That's one of the things people say about our practice is, yeah, doc, if you look at Google right now, Google says, if I look at a lot of my colleagues in town, and we're all good friends, I look and it says, how long does it take for them to respond? 2 to 3 business days, 1 week. Restoration Chiropractic says minutes. And I guarantee it's not minutes, it's probably seconds, but that's what Google says. It's minutes. And so one of the things our practice members share about us is, I love that you are so accessible. I love that I can text, call, email, and you guys are so accessible. So that is what you guys need to think about. How can you solve people's problems? What are the biggest problems your patients are facing? Other than their healthcare issues, they need connection, they need resources. I'm consistently asked, do I have a referral here or a referral there? I'm asked for billing questions and other things that my team members just solve for me effortlessly. So who are the people in your practice that matter most to you, and are they spread too thin? Look at those minimum wage task items that either you're doing or one of your doctors or a more higher in paid team member is, and look at it and say, would you make more money doing this or this? Oh, definitely this. So why wouldn't you outsource the other thing? That's what you need to look at. You guys should be having multiple team members on your team to take things off your plate. Don't be afraid of having 10, 15, 20, 30, in your own practice, because it will only save you time and make you more money. And this is what Teems and CORY and his team solves for us and solves for you. So docs, thank you for your questions. Thank you for sharing your growth. We're tracking again, CORY, right now. We're tracking how many hours of vacation and free time that our doctors have had compared to the year previously. We're at 12,700 additional days of vacation that they had the previous year, because they have the right people in the right seats. And a large part of that is thanks to you. So thank you for giving our docs what they need. Thank you for allowing them to grow. And thank you for allowing us to take better care of those with whom we have stewardship, and taking even better care of our teams and growing our businesses and our bottom line, our bank account, so that we can do more good in the world. I appreciate you, brother.
No, thank you. And if anyone has any questions, shoot me a message on Facebook. I'm a part of the group. And you can also check out our website, which is HireTeem. It's HireTeem.com. And you can contact us through then, but we'd love to work with you. What we do, we're very mission driven. We want to alleviate stress within a business. We want to bring peace of mind, and we want to take hungry, hardworking people overseas who have not been given the opportunities that all of us in the US have, and give them a better life. And so when we do our job right, those two things take place.
Thank you. So yeah, guys, down here in the little marquee, we've got HireTeem. We've got the email, we've got the contact information. It's also going to be wherever you consume or wherever you download our podcast from. The information will be there as well. And CORY is accessible. CORY gets back to me within seconds, or his team within seconds or minutes. They're highly accessible, which is, again, one of the reasons why we partner with them, because they make my life better and they make your life better. So CORY, we appreciate you. Thank you for helping us grow even more than we were the last time we spoke. And I can't wait to see what we'll be as the next days, weeks, and months go on, brother.
Thank you, everyone.